the Ring Fanatics podcast, episode number 158. I'm Nick, your host. With me, as always, is my co host Joel. As always, as we start our episodes, go subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on all social media platforms Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, anywhere, including the audio streaming platforms wherever you listen to the audio versions of these podcasts. The more support, the better. So, we have a lot to talk about this episode.
Yeah,
A
we got a lot to
lot.
talk about. Let's talk
A
about it,
very,
Nick.
very, very much.
Let's talk about
Uh,
it.
let's just get right into what happened this past weekend. WrestleMania 40, all wrapped up. Raw
hmm
after Mania took place. Let's start off with WrestleMania, both nights.
hmm
I want to start with you as always. Jabel, what were your thoughts on WrestleMania 40?
Underwhelming. 1000%. I feel underwhelming for me. Um, Going into it, big hype up. You know what I mean? Like the build was nice going into Mania. I went to night one. I thought they were gonna treat 40 like special. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like I thought we were gonna have
Yeah.
like a big spectacle. I forgot Vince is not in charge. I forgot about that. That's where I fucked up because I thought we would get a bunch of legends. You know what I mean? Some segments for Mania. It felt like
Yeah.
a regular ass pay per view until The Rock came out, and Jay and Jimmy didn't help with that. That was
Yeah.
also the shirt didn't come in yet. It's
Okay.
coming. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that match, like, it was cool. The overall pay per view was cool. I get it. The biggest WrestleMania ever because of the numbers. Quality wise, it was all right. The main event, of course, was the talk of the weekend. I feel like the best match of the weekend though didn't even get praise. Like the only match that was actually like pro wrestling, LA Knight and AJ Styles, I think blew the roof off the place, but no one showed it love. I think that was one of the best matches of the weekend, and no one gave a fuck about it. I guess because there was no
well,
story to it.
for me, I don't even think that was the best match of the night. I think that's why people didn't talk about it. I
What
think
do
the
you think
best
was
match
best
of the
match of the
week,
night?
well, two, the main event of night two and the Intercontinental Championship match were better, in my opinion, than the LA Knight versus AJ Styles. That's why I feel like they didn't get talked about most because there were two matches way better than that one.
So I
Plus,
think,
the whole
yeah,
fuck up of AJ Styles' new theme song, everyone immediately did not
yeah,
give one shit once he exited the ring,
yeah.
entered to the ring. Um, and I feel like that ruined the mood for the match. It's like the second his new theme song hit, I was like, I'm out. I'm not watching this
Yeah.
match. I did watch it, obviously. I
Yeah.
sat through
No,
it,
I feel you.
but it was like that just ruined him. He hyped up this new theme song just to be mid at best.
Well,
So
that's your company, man. They should hire Jim Johnson back. Get him back in there, man. Let's
exactly,
get some good themes.
there was
But I
no
felt
there
like
was no need
I
for
thought it was
changing, anyways.
I think it was a great match though. I like
Yeah,
you said
no,
Gunther and Sammy. It was a cool match. I don't think it was that great. I sat through it. It was cool storytelling. I don't think it was up there with WrestleMania matches. I think you could have had that on a fucking Backlash. You know what I mean? Like I get it, Cody, Roman, that was big, the hype around it. Also have a problem with that match. I'm a nitpick at that one because I love the story about it, right? Love
yeah,
the
yeah.
build up. The interference didn't happen till later on in the match. Everything was perfect until Taker, and that's coming from a Taker guy. I love the Undertaker. He had no fucking business in that ring on Sunday night.
Well, you also got to think that maybe, who knows, Stone Cold would have
Stone Cold
been
said
the
no.
guy.
Stone Cold said
Yeah,
no.
so that's the reason that they had to come up with Plan B.
But
Plan B
Triple H
being
would have
Undertaker.
made even better sense than Undertaker. Undertaker had no tie because everybody was tied in together, right?
Yeah,
Solo with Cena, Jay and Jimmy, Rock. The name you
see,
think of is not Taker. You either think
but
Austin or even Triple H before Taker.
yeah, but Triple H is like, you got to think of his health issues. He's got a monitor in his fucking chest. I
You
don't
don't gotta
think he
do
can even.
nothing. You could just do a
I
stare
know.
down and then have somebody hit Rock from behind. And then somebody hit Triple H and they both roll out. That's it. You don't need nothing crazy. But I just felt Undertaker was just a plug-in to be like, hey, we got some a big name. Because he really made no sense whatsoever in that story. And I know people were reaching and were like, oh, but he beat Roman beat him at Mania. Yeah, and then the very 2 months later they tagged together, so they don't got no beef. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where I was just
Yeah.
like, I felt like he didn't go. Another thing that I did not like that really pissed me off: the advertisements through every
Yeah.
fucking match. Wow,
Yeah.
what was that?
I noticed that too, and that was kind of distracting. It's like, why have advertisements? They probably
Bro, you're a
make deals with these
multi-million
companies. I
dollar
don't.
company. If anything, AEW needs the advertisements, not
Yeah,
you. You're owned by TKO. I don't need to
exactly.
know
Yeah,
that Dude Wipes is a sponsor for the
yeah,
match. I could
yeah.
give two fucks about it. And then also, what no one's talking about is how some fucking Fresca's lemonade, a Spanish drink, of course, was the sponsor of the Rey Mysterio LWO match. And then the
Yeah.
women's match was even worse. You got three
Yeah,
women, three strong black women on one team, and the sponsors Wingstop. No
yeah,
one saw a problem with that. No one said, hey, maybe we shouldn't. Maybe we do Slim Jim. Maybe we do
yeah.
something else. That was crazy. That was nuts.
That was that part pissed me off too. I
But
was
yeah,
like,
my
yeah,
my whole thing with Mania was that it was cool, but I didn't feel like it was WrestleMania. I felt underwhelmed watching it. Yeah, the big stuff happened at the end. There was a couple good matches, but that's every pay-per-view. It felt like a Mania going in. As it was happening, didn't feel like a Mania to me,
for
in
me,
my
it,
opinion.
it it got me on my feet the entire night, which I felt like
Really?
was yeah. I was
Okay.
hyped. I think every single match from night two was better than every single match on night one.
1,000%.
Um,
Yeah.
it topped. I'm not saying that in a way. Yeah, night one was pretty bad. It was okay. Um, okay at most, but it was like,
Bro, I sat through WrestleMania 32. I'll sit through WrestleMania 32 again before I sit through night one of WrestleMania 40.
yeah, night two.
Like,
Night two was a lot. Like, remove night one, pretend that didn't happen. Forget that night. Pretend it didn't happen at all. Night two, better than every single thing pay per view in my opinion that happened in 2023. It topped every single one, even Mania next, not last year.
I don't.
It topped
That's
everything.
so. That was gonna be my question. I don't think so. I think last year topped this year. I think
No, I think
39
this one
and 39 felt more special than 40. And I feel like
every.
there was bigger matches at 39. Like there was bigger matches at 40, but bigger moments happened at 39.
No, I
Remember
think
how we
some
talked
have
about
better
we
moments.
looked at the card and we were like, yo, this is perfect as long as everybody delivers.
And I think everyone delivered.
It was
The
alright.
opening match was pretty good. Great way to, like I said in the prediction episode, what a great way to start out the pay per view. It was very good. The moment was awesome. Please Cash didn't we
Oh
all
yeah,
knew
yeah.
that.
Okay.
Great moment.
Yeah.
Great match leading into it. The CM
Yes.
Punk stare down, pretty good. Then we had the next match, a street fight. Of course, we said it. It wasn't going to be a good match. There was no hype up to it, but we, for me, it was what we were expecting, and it was a good match for what it was. We had
Okay.
Bubba Ray Dudley as the
Bubba.
special guest referee. Awesome. They included him. It was an ECW guy in Philly. That was cool. They had Snoop Dogg on commentary. Hilarious as fuck. Great entertainment on commentary. Great match. It was chaos. Not that much, but it was chaos. And it was good for that. Good for what it was, like I said. The third match, I believe it was the LA Knight AJ Styles. It
Yeah.
was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was match of the night. You
Yeah.
arguably that.
Match of the night, I believe.
Triple threat match for the United States Championship. It was good. A lot of moments. Of course, someone was in the prime suit.
Yeah.
People were up, and it was a great match. Did not expect Logan Paul to retain, but it was a good match for what it was. Like I said, I'm going to repeat it again. Good match for what it was. And the Bailey and Io match. I'm so happy for
Oh,
Bailey. It
awesome.
was a good match. They
Great
have
match.
great chemistry. I'm going to repeat it one more time.
I think that was better
Good
than the main
match.
event.
Yeah, for what it was. It was good. It may have over delivered in a good way. In the
Yeah.
main event, I loved the chaos. We all expected that.
Yeah.
It's bloodline rules. What were
Yeah.
we going to expect?
Yeah.
We expected what happened.
Yeah.
Was Undertaker a confusing part? I totally understand that, but it was good for what it was. So am I mad? No. It was a great night. Great pay per view, not underwhelming. It was fair, good for what it was. So I
I'll
think it was a great night.
I'll just say Vince would have never had me question WrestleMania 40. I questioned WrestleMania 40 after watching both nights. I was like, yeah, there was cool moments. Like you said, great matches for what they were. It just didn't feel like Mania. The only thing that felt like Mania was the two main events of the night. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
even Bailey and Io, great fucking match. I loved that match. I think they knocked it out the park. I think that was the best women's match of the weekend. But I think that was the closest thing to a Mania match that wasn't a main event. Everything else could have happened somewhere else. And I think maybe because maybe I don't know, maybe I have the old head mind that I'm like, if the match if nobody gives a fuck about the match, why are we having it? I get it. Two nights, you make a lot of money, so let's just fucking go balls to the wall. Saturday felt like a pre-show. Sunday was okay in my opinion. Like I said, the main event was awesome. It was a great moment, of course, finally finished the story. But just after, when I sat there and I collected my thoughts, I was like, bro, like this, I don't know what I was expecting, but that wasn't it, in
You
my
had high
opinion.
hopes. You had high hopes.
High hopes, and wow, did they fucking crumble quickly.
But that's
As
not
I
their
was,
fault.
I don't know, they kind of built it up like it was gonna be fucking nuts,
And
and
it was
the
nuts for the
and
most
like
part.
yeah, but I don't know, I just didn't have that mania energy. Maybe
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 because
because
you
I've
were,
been to better manias,
yeah.
but I
Yeah.
just think it didn't have that mania energy. Even like starting off the show, like I was there Saturday now. So you start off the show with Triple H. Everybody got hype, right? Because everybody's like, oh shit, like
Yeah.
they're gonna do something that's huge. Because that's how they started 30. Like something big is gonna happen.
Yeah.
Came in and said, welcome to WrestleMania. You didn't even have to come to the ring for that, right?
Yeah.
First of all, you could have said that shit from the stage. Or you didn't even have to fucking come out. Because guess what? I get it. Triple H gets his love. I've been giving him his praise. It's been WWE's been way better than before.
Yeah.
I don't need you all up in the fucking camera every show. You know what I mean? Like making an entrance. Even night two, Stephanie doing it. It was like we saw this yesterday, and you did the same thing. It wasn't any different. We got no backstage segments with legends. We saw the Hall of Famers only once when they did the fucking thing on Sunday. I think the biggest surprise was the fucking Eagles, which they could go fuck themselves. Cause shout out the Giants and the Jets. You know what I mean? Like it just was. I didn't have that mania feeling. That was like all this other different stuff happening, big moments happening. They didn't even announce the next WrestleMania where it was gonna be. I thought we were gonna get that big announcement like before the main
Yeah.
event. You know what I mean? Like a video package or something. I was just like, wow. Like to me, watching that Mania, I probably sound like a hater right now, but watching that Mania, I I don't know about the new era of WWE. I'm worried about it. It looks
It's gonna be
like
fine.
yeah, it's gonna be fine because they make so much money and they have so many fans that for them to take a downfall will take like fucking 20 years for them to hit a downfall. You know what I mean? Like they're that
Yeah.
big of a company. It's kind of like fucking Coca-Cola or something. You know
Yeah.
how many years it would take to for that company to go down? You know how many people I've met that were like, I never drink soda. And that's just
Yeah.
still a multi-million dollar company. You know what I mean? Like it's one
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
those things. So it's like, I don't know. I just like I said, maybe it's the old head mind of mine. Even like the advertisements. I was just like, bro, like, why does everything have to have an ad? It was just I don't know. It didn't feel like Mania to me. But
Night.
it was a great
Yeah.
moment to end the show. Um yeah, it was dope. Now we'll just see what they have in store for Cody.
Yeah. I mean, I when I mean like they're in good hands, I don't mean like money wise or like they're gonna crumble in whatever
Oh no,
X amount of
yeah,
years. Of
no.
course not. It's just I think they'll be good on how they book their future.
Oh,
Um,
as long as Triple H has Paul Heyman by his side, he's good.
Yeah, they're gonna
As
be
long as he got
fine.
Paul Heyman and
You
Bruce
know,
Pritchard, he's good because Paul Heyman is gonna be what Dusty was to NXT, and we
yeah,
saw that during the first draft when SmackDown became ridiculously good.
yeah,
There was rumors that Paul Heyman was in charge of it. You know what I mean? So it makes sense why shit's getting better. Vince just wasn't taking advice. Paul Heyman's probably had these ideas for years, and now finally somebody's listening.
exactly,
So as long as he's
exactly.
there and Bruce Pritchard's there, we're good. But I don't know.
Yeah,
My whole thing was that I just felt it wasn't Mania. Even like, and I'm like a nitpick wrestling fan. So like, even the pyro, we didn't even get opening pyro for Mania. This is your biggest Mania ever, and we're getting boom sounds as pyro. Get the fuck out of here, Triple H. You're a multi-million-dollar company. You could get a couple fireworks, homie.
yeah, but he also it's his first WrestleMania. It was good for his first WrestleMania. That's what I'm thinking.
I mean,
For
he did
Triple
get
H,
bullied. He did get bullied out of
yeah,
changing the main event.
for Triple H to be his first, literally his first one, no Vince at all. For his first one, it was good. It was good to do that well for his first one. Forget the pyro, forget the moments we were expecting. For what we saw, that wasn't high expectations. It was
Yeah.
good for him. That proved to me that not just every single premium live event going forward, but every Mania going forward can get better than
I
last year's.
I hope. I mean, it's
It
not gonna be
definitely
hard to
will.
top this year's. It's not gonna be hard.
It could be exactly the same as it was this year. That's it. If it
Hopefully,
is,
it gets a little better. I just need a little better. I don't need a drastic fucking change. I feel like
yeah,
last year's to this year's was a drastic change, and it was like I get it. Vince isn't in charge, but wow, that was like two different things. I get it, new person in charge, yada yada yada. But wow, and also I'll play devil's advocate with you. Um, he got dealt a good hand. Triple H took over when business was starting to rise, and all he had to do was keep on building it and adding on
yeah.
to it.
The thing is
Um,
now too is like now Triple H has the opportunity to start completely fresh.
yeah,
Even though he's been doing it for 2 years, now this is his time to start
yeah.
completely fresh, heading brand new storylines, completely different champions.
Mm-hmm.
This is his time now. This is
Cody's
his
his
era.
Hogan.
Yeah. So we get to see this officially starting this past Monday was his first show by himself, besides like Monday Night Raw by
Yeah,
himself, leading into his era.
yeah,
So I'm excited to see what's coming up. I'm excited for next year's Mania, regardless of where it is. It's going to be pretty dope. It was fun. It was fun.
yeah,
That's all I can say. It was fun to
yeah.
watch.
No, it was
Was
fun.
there crazy moments?
No, yeah, it was a fun show. I take nothing away from it. I feel like you could have gave me those two nights, those cards on regular ass pay per views. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying. It just didn't feel like it didn't have that mania aura to it. It felt like kind of like you could put that card on a SummerSlam. You could put that card on Survivor. You know what I mean? Like it didn't
Yeah.
have that aura to Mania. Wasn't that it
Yeah.
wasn't a good show? It didn't have that feeling, that energy to it. In my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah. But the thing is, yeah,
Some people
I can
loved
see
it.
how
Some
that.
people think it's the best. It was the best show of all time.
Yeah. And
So
then
everybody has their
nothing
own
screaming that.
opinions. I just feel that. I just feel it was a little underwhelming. Like I said, there was good matches, there was bad matches. That's every show. I just feel
If
like
not, night one ruined it for me for night two. Like heading into night two, I had low expectations for night two, but then it exceeded it very well, and it
well,
was
that's
very
because
good.
night one was what it was. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, we can. Yeah,
and I think that's what hurt it because you put all these matches together, you build it up, you have all these guys together that you think are gonna put on banger matches, and then it's not what you think is gonna be. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like even with the Becky thing, like I was watching it, I was like, yo, this is a slow paced match to open the show with, the double downs and stuff, and then I found out she was sick or whatever. It's like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? So there's certain like I think the match of the night, even with Rock and Roman versus
yeah,
Rollins and Cody, was the tag match. And did it not tell you? Did it not tell you? Grayson and Theory. Did it not
yeah,
tell you?
yeah.
Listen, I was the only one popping in my section. Everybody was booing.
Yeah.
But I knew. I was like, ha ha.
Yeah.
I didn't get New Day, but it is what it is. I like that Miz and Truth won it. I like what they
Yeah.
did on Raw. That was
Exactly.
pretty
Yeah. Yeah.
cool. But yeah, I think that might have been that was the match of night one. Like I love the main event. But I think that ladder match was just I think I went into that ladder match with like low expectations, and
Yeah.
they not even low. Like I was like, okay, it's gonna be a good ladder match, but like a lot of these guys I haven't seen them in ladder matches. You know what I mean? So it was like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know what to compare it to. So when they went in and they did their thing, wow, I was like, whoa, I was blown away. I was like, this was a great match. I feel like the right people won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The matches for night one were not that good. Most of them, again, they were good for what they were.
Yeah. What would
Jimmy
you say
versus
was your favorite match of like the whole weekend?
ooh, equally, like I said before, the two matches that I mentioned, the IC title match and the main event of night two.
Okay.
Those were my favorite matches of
I
both
gotta
nights.
go rewatch the Gunther and Sammy one because I was as I was there, like
Because
I was enjoying it, but I was like, I don't know about this match.
the
And then when
emotion
Sammy
was
won, I
brought
was
out.
like, whoa. Like I feel like, and there was a lot of people in the arena that were like, whoa, okay, yeah,
Yeah,
ooh,
but I
like
wasn't. I wasn't
yeah.
like. I wasn't like. I would have the same reaction, but I wasn't like confused. I was like happy, but like,
Yeah.
whoa, he did it! Like that was awesome.
Yeah, but I think that was
Um,
everybody because everybody had in mind Gable. I was like,
yeah, and it's like
because
that's all they wanted, but it was like
that should have been his moment, man.
it
That
should
should have
have
been his
been.
moment. That would have been so dope. I get it, Sammy, whatever. That's Triple H's guy, but I think Gable deserved that spot because I could only imagine that pop with him hitting the roll up suplex and winning
Yeah,
like that would have been insane. I think
yeah,
it would have gave off vibes of like fuck it. It would have fucked up the main event to be honest, because it would have gave off vibes of like Kofi Mania.
yeah. I
You know what
think
I mean?
that's why. I think that's why.
It would have been too big of a moment, and that's why when Sammy won, I said that's your feel good moment of the night.
Yeah,
Rock and Roman on winning the main event. It was one of those things. I was like, the babyface won. Everybody got their happy moment of the night. We about to take this L with Roman and Rock.
yeah. I think that's why they didn't put Chad Gable in it either, because it would have been much more of a moment than the main event was.
Yeah.
Because if you had that match first, before
Well,
like right before, it would have
if it
been
was
like,
Gable, they should have opened the show. If it was Gable,
yeah,
they could
yeah,
have opened the show. But I get it.
yeah.
Maybe you got some. Maybe they got something planned with Gable down the line with him and Sammy. It looks like they're
They have
trying
a
to do
match
something
next
with
week,
them. Yeah,
so
but I know Gable's gonna lose. But because we need at least one of them to turn. There's
who
no
knows?
way. I don't think you think Sammy's just transitional off of
I
Gunther.
think so.
I
I
don't
mean,
think so. For that, you
because
just give Gable the win over Gunther.
what if he turns heel? What if the plan was for him to go heel as IC champion, and then you're not going to expect it once you watch that match? You'll be like, oh shit, Chad Gable not just won the IC title; he's now a heel, and he
But
separated himself. He's a whole different character. He's not Chad Gable, leader of Alpha Academy. He's a different Chad Gable.
yeah,
I did
but
this because I couldn't beat Gunther.
gotcha.
I could beat you, but I couldn't beat Gunther. I'm not going a third time, embarrassing myself in front of my kids
Yeah,
again in front of WrestleMania. I'm going to do it tonight on Raw against you. I trained you. I helped you. I know your ins and outs. I could beat you with my eyes closed with one arm. I know you at the back of my head. He's known him since the early NXT days.
yeah.
It's easy for me now. I could beat you easily. I couldn't beat Gunther, who beat me twice and embarrassed me in front of my kids. It's an easier fight now. He doesn't have to worry about the big Gunther. It could be an easy fight for him. You know what I mean? That's the
Yeah,
story.
but cool
The
winning
guy,
it on Raw, cool. But like, you could have did that with him on Mania, him beat Gunther, and then let it all go to his head, and he becomes a. You know what I mean? Like, you could have did something like that. Like, you could have gave him that moment, man. Because if you give it to him next week, cool. Like, I'll still be happy for him. You know what I mean? And your story does make sense, but like, he deserved that moment, man. He's busted his ass this year for that moment. And I get it, Sammy is Sammy, but Gable busts his ass, bro. And your story does make sense. So they could definitely go with that way. I just look at it weird that they would have Sammy beat Gunther and then lose it immediately to Gable. It does make sense though, the way that you're explaining it. But like, you could have just gave him that big moment and then turned him heel. Just been like, Sammy, I did this by myself. You could have trained me. You could have did this. I did this my. You weren't in the ring with me. You know what I mean? And turn him heel that way.
But
But
I'd
like,
rather him. I'd rather him be a transitional champion than Gable being transitional champion. What if
nah.
the
But
plan
I
was
would
to
have
only
had
have it
Gable
for a
hold it
month?
for a little bit. I would have had Gable hold it for a minute. I probably would have had
Yeah,
Gable hold it for the summer. Maybe to like
maybe.
Money in the Bank. Maybe.
Because what if
Or
that's the
even
plan too?
SummerSlam.
What if they skip the IC title, make him world champion by the end of the year? What if he's Mr. Money
Now,
in the Bank?
listen, you
I'd
know
rather
me.
that
I
than
don't
Mania
think that's
moment.
gonna happen, but that be fire. That would be fire. I think Logan's taking that Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
Just makes
maybe.
sense. Cleveland. It just makes sense. Have
Yeah.
him tease of a cash in, even though I think he'll
Then he does
fail.
it.
But
Yeah,
I
most
think he'll
likely.
fail. Yeah,
And he,
but it'll add to his character because he's one of those guys that I think it won't affect him if he wins Money in the Bank and fails to cash in, because
but
he
with
already
the
has that fan base that loves him, and then he also has a fan base that hates him.
But the thing is with the fail and cash in is like they've done that so much recently to where I think they should keep the streak going with successful cash ins. You know what I mean? I don't mind. I don't care if they do a failed cash in, but as of late, it's happened so much to where it's like, yo, let's do a successful one. Keep
Has
it
it?
going a little bit.
Maybe I'm bugging. I
Last
haven't.
year, Theory, he failed the cash in on the mid card title. He had
That
Otis like two years ago.
we don't talk about that. Yeah, but Miz
And he had
cashed in. He got his belt.
it wasn't a long title. It was technically yeah.
No,
You had
transitional.
Otis.
He was
You
a
had
big
Braun Strowman
transitional
the year.
champion.
Then you had Braun Strowman like 2 years prior, and it's like
Yeah,
they've have a. It's happened more frequent than usual.
yeah, that makes
They got to
sense.
calm down with that a little bit. So give it to
I
people
mean,
who
they've had
actually
so
need
many
it.
years that was so successful. You gotta have some that take some L's, but you do make sense. They've been doing it a lot lately. Now that I think about it,
So just do
the Theory
less.
one, they fucked up on that one.
Vince fucked up with that one. He didn't need to
Yeah.
make him that year's Money in the Bank winner.
Nah, because I think what happened was Vince gave it to him, and I think Triple H was like, "Nah, we're taking this off of him."
Yeah, he'll definitely win it again eventually and successfully cash it in. But
Yeah,
at that time, he wasn't ready. You know, I don't think he would have won the major champ. If anything, he would have held it like a month or two, then lost
yeah,
it. If
yeah.
he would
But
have
at
successfully
least you
cashed
get
it in.
that feeling, and you see what the crowd is like, and then you get to see him with the belt and what it looks like. Oh
Yeah,
man, talking about what he looks like with the belt. Wow, get Cody a new belt because
he
wow,
definitely is. He definitely
he
is.
was holding that on Monday, and I was just like, wow, like my boy hit me up. He was like, "Why he looks like a fan at a wrestling show holding a belt?" And I was like, "Yo,
Yeah,
I think it's just that it doesn't. The belt doesn't fit him.
you said. I
It's
think you
too
said it.
big. Yeah,
Or someone said it. I was like, it's
it's
Roman's belt.
Roman's belt.
Yeah,
You see the gold?
yeah.
It's Roman. It's the same way you looked at different belts. You see the spinner, it's
John
John.
Cena.
You see
Yeah,
the undisputed championship from '02 to '04. You think of Brock or Eddie. You know what I mean? Like the '97
the
winged belt.
Winged
You think of
Angel one. That's Stone
you
Cold.
think
Yeah,
of Stone Cold. You know what I mean? Like there's just belts you see and automatically think of people. That belt is Roman's. Please get Cody
yeah.
a new belt. I think they're gonna do it.
I think
Um,
so too.
it
He's
would be
talked about
cool
it
if
publicly, so he's
yeah.
definitely gonna do it.
And he's like, "Oh, I don't make I'm not in charge. We'll see." That's fucking you're Triple H's
Yeah,
guy. You think you're not gonna get a new
yeah.
belt? Like, come on.
Exactly.
And I hope it's
Exactly.
beautiful. I hope it's a good belt because even the one that they have for the heavyweight belt, it's really nice.
Yeah, it is. It
Shout
is.
out, yo, shout out Damian Priest. What were you thinking when that cash in happened?
I knew it. I knew it. A lot of people called it, and I knew it. I
Yeah,
was happy for him, man. It was a cool moment, cool setup. Um, it still continues. I mean, this one made sense. I know people were complaining that McIntyre held it for 5 minutes and
nah,
then
he
got
didn't
cashed
need
on.
it. He didn't need
Yeah,
it.
it was a
You look at
cool
the
moment. I
build up.
did.
The build up had nothing to do with the title.
Yeah, and I said it too. He got his Mania moment. You
Yeah,
saw it in his face when he won it.
yeah.
He got the title. It was in front of people. That's all he needed. He
Yep.
didn't need to hold it much longer.
No.
He got cashed in on. Priest deserved it. Was the
Priest
build up
deserved
to the
it,
cash
man.
in? Was the cash in like his build up from when he won it till now? Was it the best? No. There were a lot of chances he could have done it realistically, kayfabe wise, but like
Yeah.
he got it. He won the
I
belt.
like
It's
that
cool.
I like
Yeah,
that they saved it for Mania. I think
yeah.
that
It
was
was a
cool.
cool
It
moment.
Gives him a big moment. That was a big moment.
That
I'm
was a
so
big moment.
excited. I'm so excited to see what they do
And
with this
my
title
my
reign.
guy Jey Uso is the first number one contender for that title. And you said Jimmy was gonna be bigger than Jay after Mania.
Yeah,
I got
but
the recording. I got the
cool.
recording.
Jay's gonna take the L, bro.
But
There's no way.
he got a title shot.
With the match that he gave at Mania, I wouldn't even have given him that number one contender shot. I would have been like, bro, with the fucking shit show you gave me on Saturday, I would have gave that shit to Bronson. I'm like, here you go, bud. I would have been, but that's me being petty because I would have been pissed because
Yeah.
like that build up of
Yeah.
the Jimmy and Jay shit, what I thought was gonna be match of the night, and then fucking throwing super kick after super kick, and it was just like this is what we expected. I didn't think that's what we were gonna get because I felt they expected everybody was gonna expect super kicks, so they would
Yeah.
change it up. That's the same shit if you put Nick and Matt Jackson against each other. That's the same match they're gonna have. I
Yeah.
thought the Usos were gonna be at least a little more creative and be able to do more shit. Like you've been with your brother your whole life. You know him like the back of
Yeah.
your hand. I feel like that's someone you could put a great fucking match on. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
With.
Yeah.
Hopefully they get another chance. Hopefully it was just that I don't know what they were doing, but hopefully it was just a build up to something. But wow. But
I
yeah,
think
shout out to Jay that he got the number one
yeah.
contender. That was cool.
I think that match, the Jimmy versus Jay match, is gonna happen again, but it was just for now. They're probably not gonna touch each other until like Rumble at least for next year.
I,
It's gonna be a while.
I'll tell you right now, next time they step in that ring, it's a bathroom break for me. I am not sitting through
Yeah.
one of those again.
Yeah.
And if it's great, I'll watch the replay. I will not sit through another Jimmy and Jay match after what they did at Mania. They
Yeah.
did that match at Mania, Nick. Not just a Raw. They did that match at a Mania. That was crazy. But shout out to Jay.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I think he'll get a belt within the year. I don't think world
For
champ.
sure. Yeah.
But I do
Not
like
this
that they
year.
have him in that story. We'll see what happens with them. But
We'll
I'm
see.
so happy for Priest, man. I'm
Me
really
too, man.
excited that he got that belt. I think he's gonna do great things with that belt. I think he's gonna hold it for a little bit. I think tops by the end of the summer because that
I'm
belt
kind of
shouldn't be
scared
held
though.
that long. Why?
I think he might lose it at Clash at the Castle. There's a part of me that think if McIntyre is the challenger for that main event, it's definitely changing hands. Um,
Yeah.
if he's not, definitely till end of the summer. But because there's got to be a reason why they put Scotland as a location for Clash at the Castle. If they're doing CM Punk versus Drew, then big match, great match to have at that pay per view. People will be
Yeah.
behind McIntyre, but that's also the issue. Why would you have McIntyre going into Clash as a babyface when you know they're gonna have the entire audience cheer for McIntyre because he's from there?
Yeah.
That
Well,
doesn't make any sense. So
they
it
want him to
might be
resign,
because
man.
yeah. But
They
like I'm
want him to
assuming
resign. Yeah,
they
they're
might have
trying their
McIntyre.
best.
They're probably gonna have McIntyre versus Priest with McIntyre as the babyface again.
Yeah.
Should he be a babyface that soon? No.
Well,
But
I don't think. I think he'll just be a babyface for the night. I think it'll be one of those situations of like
a tweener.
yeah, he'll be like you ever seen the Canadian the In Your House Canadian Stampede
I think so.
where the Heart Foundation fights in Canada and
Yes,
they're
yes,
like
yeah, yeah.
they're the biggest heels
Yeah.
in the US. Like people were
I know what you're talking
shitting
about,
on them heavy and then they went to Canada for one show
yeah. And
or
they
versus
got
all the
cheered.
baby faces, Stone Cold, Legion of Doom, all these guys you would think would get cheered for, and got booed out the building, and then they got the biggest pop of the night. I think that's what it's gonna
Yeah.
be like a one night thing. Like we know they're gonna cheer for him because he's in his hometown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it would make sense for them to cheer him. So I don't think they'll turn him just for that. I don't even know if he'll be in. I don't even think he cares about the title picture right now. I think they're just worried about him and Punk. I also hope that Punk, again, I say this every episode, I hope he gets 100 before he steps in the ring again.
Yeah, yeah.
Please. So we don't see you every 6 months. You know what I mean? Like,
It seems like he's better. He took off the cast at Mania, so I don't know if that means
I
he's
hope.
cleared.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just gonna. Maybe he will be cleared by the next time he's planned to compete. That's why he took it off. Like, oh, I'm almost healed. Let me take it
Yeah. To
off
be
to
honest,
make
I
it soon.
wouldn't let him touch a ring till September. I know, like, his thing was like 6, 7 months. He's older, bro. You gotta let him heal correctly.
Yeah, yeah,
So you don't have a situation that he had in AEW. You know what I mean? Like, that he's not getting hurt all the time.
yeah.
It wasn't
I see.
that. It wasn't this thing of like, oh, he wasn't being safe. The person he was fighting wasn't being safe. It was just that he's an older guy. You know what I mean? That's why Taker would only fight once or twice a year because his body went through so much shit. CM Punk's not that old, but he's still older. So even if he does break something or tear something, it's gonna take a little longer to become 100%. I
Yeah,
just want them to make sure, like, if he's gonna fight, I want to see him at a couple pay-per-views. You know what I mean? Not just like one,
exactly. Yeah,
and
yeah,
then we don't see him till next year. Like, I want him to be healthy, especially if he's gonna be in WWE. Like, there's so many matches he could have, and he's been in the
yeah.
Rumble. He's been in the
Exactly. Yeah,
Rumble.
yeah,
Not
yeah,
his fault. Got, like, injuries happen, but like, I don't even know if he was 100 going into that. You know what I mean? So it's one of
yeah,
those things that's like, bro, just I hope you get healthy, and then you could come back and go balls to the wall. You know what I mean? But make sure he's 100.
yeah.
That
I
he's
see.
not taking a clothesline and something happens that's like, fuck, we don't see him till the next Rumble again.
Yeah,
It's one of
I
those
see.
situations. Cause I want to see that
Yeah,
Punk McIntyre match. I want to see Punk Cody. There's a lot of Punk matches that look good on paper. You know what I mean? And I'm interested in them, but he needs to be healthy.
yeah. That is true.
Cause I can't wait for him to come back. That's gonna be awesome. Cause we got him on TV talking his shit, but we need you in the ring, bud. I need to see
I
some
know.
matches from you, man. I'm
That's what
missing
we're
you.
waiting for. That's what we're
Yeah.
waiting for. And I'm glad Seth is able to take time off. I know Becky's taking time off too.
So
They both need it. And
yeah, so I saw he was taking off, but I read something. I don't know how true this is. Of course, I saw it on the internet, so it has to be true. But it said that he was only going to take like 4 weeks.
that's what I heard too.
Bro, to me, take the summer, homie. Like,
Yeah,
get right, get healthy. Also, I think we're a little fatigued with him. I am. And I thought I was the only one till I went to WrestleMania. And like, it was kind of half and half. Like, people love singing his song, but they'll boo him. And it's like,
we, you have to understand too that we've said this multiple times. Like people will only care about you when you're gone.
yes.
When he's going to be off, people are going to be like,
Mm-hmm.
"I miss Seth Rollins. I want him back soon."
But
So that will change for people
yeah,
as
but you
he's
can't
taking
miss
time off.
somebody in 4 episodes, homie. I don't see you for a month. I'm gonna miss you. Nah, if I don't see
I'm
you for
cool.
like 3 months, I'm gonna be like, wow, we need Seth back. You're gone in a blink of an eye. You're back by the next pay per view, homie. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things
Yeah,
that's like, take some real time. I know your knees. You heard it before Rumble. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
another one. Make sure you're healthy, bro. Like, I get it. Don't want to lose your spot, but you also gotta think, like, if you want to, because I'm sure Rollins doesn't be like, oh, I'm retiring at this age. He wants to keep going. And if you want to keep
exactly.
doing that, you gotta be healthy, bro. You gotta make sure that your body heals correctly. It's not that
Yeah,
like, oh, I'm tired of Rollins being in the main event. It's more like, bro, yeah, we're a little fatigued with him, but like, that's more because we see you every week and you've been putting your body on the line every week. So we see that, like I've said, he's been hitting the ropes really slow lately. Why is
yeah,
that? Because he's probably not 100%. It's not that he's a bad wrestler. It's that bro needs to get healthy. He needs to get
exactly.
better. You know what I mean? And you can't do that if you're going to just take 4 weeks off. Your body's not going to be like, oh, yeah, I'm ready to go. You need some real time off. That's
Yeah,
why I
that
was
is
even
true.
saying, even if it's till that Clash at the Castle till June, July, you don't gotta take the whole summer off.
Yeah.
Maybe you return right before Money in the Bank and you say, I'm going to enter Money in the Bank. And then the whole storyline is him trying to get back at, like, him trying to be in a match with
Get back into
Cody.
the picture.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like, yeah.
yeah,
Like, you could do that. You don't need to only let the guy off for a month. You can let him take some time off. He's not going to, there's no one that could take his spot right now. He's so big of a
yeah,
star. No one's taking that spot. You know what I mean? And I don't
yeah,
think
yeah.
Triple H is looking to fill that spot. So he's good.
He's good. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
just
agree with that.
I just want everybody to be healthy, man. Especially like now for Mania. That was the big show. This is the time from now to like July, right before SummerSlam. That's when you let people take some time off and let them heal before you restart all the new storylines. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like let people get healthy. Unless
yeah.
they're a champion, then they gotta be there. Now, then there's no
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
choice.
You can't do
You
that
know what I
again.
mean?
Yeah,
But I want to see people healthy, man, because the injury bug, man, is tough. I mean, there's been manias that have been affected by it, shows that have been affected by it.
yeah, yeah,
You know how many
yeah,
shows I went to back in the day that they were like, Daniel Bryan's not here. He's fucking injured again. I'd be like, this fucking guy, bro.
yeah,
I don't think
yeah.
I saw Bryan once during that little yes run. I don't think I seen him once because he was always like, oh, he's not here tonight. He's injured. You know what I mean? It was one of those
Yeah,
things. But I just want everybody to get healthy, especially before we start off this new. Because
era.
I always look at Mania as
Yeah,
like the end of the year. This is the new.
exactly.
This is
Yeah,
the new year. Monday just started off the new year for WWE.
yeah,
Get some time off. We know the Mania, the Raw after Mania is gonna be a bang, and then we're gonna slow down a little bit, and that's okay, because we don't need like a surprise every fucking week. You know what I mean? We don't need everybody there every week. We could give some time. I get it. If you don't want to do the grind, but like some people need to
yeah,
get healthy,
yeah,
bro. Please let them get healthy.
yeah. That is true. They
And
need to.
then they'll be able to take a bump and they look at Triple H. He's one of those guys that never left. And now homie has a pacemaker and can't take a bump. And it's not because, it's just that his body went through so much that he probably never let injuries heal 100.
Yeah,
But also, he was in a different time that it was like, if you did leave, your spot could get taken like that.
yeah. That is
Because there
true.
were so many.
Top stars. Then it was like
Yeah,
tough to
especially
compete.
like. Yeah, exactly. I feel like there's a lot of top stars. I'm not saying that there's no top stars now, but this
Yeah,
Seth is above all. You know what I mean? And I felt like Triple H was that too, but also he was on the same show as Shawn Cena. You know what I mean? Like it was a little tougher. And then even in the Attitude Era, if he left, there was Stone Cold, Taker, Rock.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? There
yeah.
was so many people that could just step up and be like, "Yeah, I'll take that spot." So let Triple H let people get healthy, man.
Exactly.
Let's let people get healthy so that they can wrestle for as long as they want.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Just gotta wait and see. Who knows? They may
Yeah,
come back in 4 weeks, like you said.
yeah,
That could
we'll
be a
see.
true thing.
And if he's
You know?
healthy, good for him, man. Good for
Yeah,
him.
we're
Because
not doctors here.
maybe you're right. Maybe a month is long enough. We haven't sat through it, so we don't know. But maybe
But
next
you
month I'll be
gotta.
like, wow, I was missing Seth a little bit.
The thing is too, like he did take a lot of time off in between Rumble and Mania. I don't think he wrestled once in between.
Yeah, but he was
So
still on TV.
yeah, but like he still must have healed. You know,
No,
that's because
yeah,
he didn't.
but still, like my whole thing is that people are fatigued with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like also him getting healed, but also people are a little tired of him. It's kind of like when MJF had to when they did the write off at World's End. By that time, by like right when they were building up to that show, you could feel like people were getting tired of MJF.
yeah,
He needed a break from screen. He's gone. When he comes back, whether it's WWE or AEW, people are gonna appreciate him more. Be like,
exactly.
wow, we haven't seen him in so long. Like, this is amazing. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's great to
it's
see
one
him
of
back.
those things
It's like
that even you could use like Roman as an example. I don't want Seth to do that, but like on his part-time schedule, he's one of those guys that's like when he's announced for SmackDown, shit sells out. People want to
yeah,
see him. People are excited to see him. Throw the ones, you know what I mean? People are excited because we don't see him much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Seth, even though he wasn't wrestling, he was coming out every week doing promos. We were still seeing him. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. That's like the conversation we had back in the day with NXT when they changed it 2 hours and you started seeing everybody this every week. And you started like, when it was that 1 hour time slot, you didn't see everybody every week. So you didn't really get tired of people.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's true.
that's why I was saying maybe you're right. Maybe a month is fine. A month and a half. Maybe he comes back after Backlash. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
But like I said, hopefully he's just healed when he comes back. I hope he's good.
Yeah, that would be good too.
Because he's, even though I give his title reign shit and that he was like a side character in the main event, he's one of the top guys there, man. He's the reason that that place is still going because he puts the team on his back. Like, you know what I mean? He's one of those, he is a reliable guy. He's one of those guys that's like, if I need a good match, Seth. You know what I mean? It's one of those guys. It was one of those things that was like, I'm trying to think of somebody else that was kind of Shawn Michaels back in the day. That was like, you need a good match, throw Shawn in it. You need a
Yeah, yeah.
or
That's true.
or throw Kurt Angle in it. He'll make it amazing. You know what I mean? He's one of those guys. So
Yeah.
he's an old reliable.
Yeah, exactly.
But shout out Seth, man. Hopefully, like I said, shout out to the run that he had and everything he did. But yeah, just come back healthy, man.
Exactly. Got to see him healthy.
Hell yeah.
Um, a lot more shit we got to talk about
What's up?
that
What's up?
happened. Um, the draft coming back. Um,
Yeah.
that's exciting, and
I
I
am
actually need
excited
that.
for that. I'm
Yeah,
excited for that because I think Triple H is gonna actually like
yeah. That's what I
stick
was
to
gonna say.
stick
Like,
to it.
I, I think, I think the reason why the draft didn't work last year because Vince kind of had his fingerprints sprinkled all over it a bit. Maybe Triple H was like, maybe so and so fits well on Raw this week, or someone on SmackDown fits, or vice versa, whatever I said. Um, this, like you said, like Triple H is his first actual draft. I think he'll keep it the way it is after the draft. Whoever's on Raw and SmackDown. It's dope that they're actually having people from NXT say, "Hey, I'm
Yeah,
eligible for the draft," which is kind of cool in a way. They did it with
yeah,
Dragunov and did it
definitely.
Roxanne, so it's kind of like it feels like a college declaring for a pro draft. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
makes
So
it feels cool.
I have a question for you real quick though. So I saw that promo that they did backstage where all the managers were together. Is NXT in the draft?
They've always been in the draft.
No, like are they able to draft this year?
I,
Not that their
I
guys are able to be drafted. Are they drafting?
like
Like, can somebody get drafted to NXT this year? Is that a
I
thing?
don't I don't think that should happen.
Because
I
like the
don't
way that
think
they
it's gonna.
like did that segment with them backstage, and they were like, "Oh, the draft is coming up." I was
Maybe
like,
they were probably maybe they were probably discussing like, oh, so and so is going to be eligible. So and so will also be eligible.
yeah,
Maybe they were discussing that.
yeah, because they were
Um,
like, "Oh yeah, NXT is part of the draft," and I was like, "Does that mean like?" Because they always have that, like you said, like people get called up and they're
yeah,
eligible for the draft,
may-
but like, is
maybe
NXT
maybe they're going to announce because we still have like 2, 3
2
episodes of
weeks,
Raw and
right?
SmackDown
Yeah,
before. So what I'm thinking is going to happen is like I don't think Dragunov and Roxanne are going to be the only two saying that they're going to be eligible. Because technically they haven't been drafted yet. So
yeah,
yeah, they appeared on Raw, but they could not be. They're probably not Raw superstars yet until they get drafted, and
exactly.
they're going to hype that up like, oh, more NXT stars like maybe Carmelo Hayes, other people are going to be
Yeah,
seen on different shows going forward until the draft to be like, hey, this person's eligible. You will see them on draft nights saying this person's eligible so they can get drafted
yeah,
instead of it being a surprise. You'd be like, oh shit, Carmelo Hayes is drafted, but we know he's going to get drafted. You know what I mean?
yeah.
He can, so now it means it's a call up. He can get drafted by either Raw or
Either
SmackDown.
one. Yeah, we just don't
And
know
I
yet.
think, yeah, and I think they're gonna leave the surprise NXT picks for like what they did last year, just like the people who were just gonna get called up, but
Yeah,
not the biggest names on the NXT roster.
yeah,
I think they're gonna leave the surprises for those people, and then announce the big names as eligible to make it a bigger deal for
yeah.
them.
Got you.
Um,
Okay. Because when I was
that's what
watching
I
it, I
think is
was
gonna happen.
like, are they dead gonna like treat them like a third brand? Like that was my thought when I saw that segment. I was
Kind of.
like,
I hope not, though.
yeah,
I
because I was
hope
like,
not.
I hope that's not the case. I hope it's just call ups, like you said, because
Yeah.
I don't think this is the time to treat them like a third brand yet.
Exactly.
Like they're on their way building back up. I don't think I don't know. I don't think that it's time yet. I know they
It's
want
definitely
to
not
do
time yet.
it. I think they could have done it a couple years ago. That year that they did the Survivor Series thing.
Yeah.
But just never went for it. And again, that was with Vince. So who knows? But that's why when they did the segment, that's why I was like, whoa, this might actually be a thing because that's Triple H's baby, NXT. He might be
Yeah.
trying to treat it like a third brand. But
Yeah.
we're gonna have to wait and see to see what they announce for that, because that's what I took from it. Also,
Yeah.
question for you: I just want to play devil's advocate. All these signings that happened like the last couple of weeks, like Jade to SmackDown, Braun Breaker, are they like going into like they just signed contract? Are they going into the draft?
They have to. I mean, I think everyone's eligible, no matter what.
So what was the big
Well,
deal of trying to get people to be on your brand if
it's just to redraft them now. I mean, it's. I think they're gonna do exactly like how they used to do it. General managers announce their picks. You
yeah.
know what I mean? They go out like all this Adam Pierce
Yeah. No, but I was saying like
type of thing.
you remember like the last couple
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a
I know.
month
I know.
ago that they were
Yeah,
like fighting for people. I was like,
yeah.
then they announced the draft. I was like, so those people like, are they staying on their brand because they were fighting so hard for them, or are they back in the draft? Like that made no sense
That,
to me. I was like,
but that's. I guess that's
I guess
like.
for storyline, you needed them to get to a brand and then just draft them.
But storyline wise, in terms of like keeping them on the brand, maybe on the draft,
Yes.
it'd be like Adam Pierce brings up, like, hey, you just signed Jade Cargill and Braun Breaker, but guess what I'm going to do next pick? I'm taking both of you people, type of thing. Like,
Yeah.
you had your 2 months, your 5 seconds of fame with them. Now I thank you for progressing these athletes for me. I'll take care of them. Maybe
Who's
that's
your
the thing.
draft pick? Who's your number one draft pick? If they give you have Raw.
How would
You
personally
have
pick
the
or
number
who I
one
know?
pick. You have the number one pick. Who's your number one pick?
So who I know they would actually put number one would probably be Cody. That's
Oh
who they're
yeah,
going to choose number one.
but personally, like let's say you're fantasy booking this, and you're the general manager.
Ooh, I'm gonna end up choosing. Oh, this is tough
That's a
because you have
tough
a
one,
lot of people
right?
who are out. I don't think they're gonna. Maybe they will draft people who are out, but I would personally choose Seth. Um,
Okay.
Going to SmackDown though, I would love to see him on SmackDown again. I
Need
think
a
we've
new,
seen him on Raw for
yeah.
too long. I think
Hmm.
SmackDown would be fresh enough for him. Maybe they keep some of the same stars on SmackDown to see him in different feuds. But I personally would choose Seth number one to go to SmackDown specifically.
Okay,
What about you?
I
Who
like
would you
that
who would
pick.
you choose?
My number one pick. I know they would go with Cody, but
Yeah.
I would either go with I would either go with Damian Priest
Ooh, okay.
or I would go
Good one.
with Jade and push her
I
to
would even go with
the
I would go with Rhea and I
Rhea is
would
a good
draft
one too.
Judgment Day as a
So I
whole
was gonna say, does Judgment Day count as a group?
because they typically do that. They
I
draft
hope
groups
that,
together.
I really don't want them to break up. I
Me
really want them
neither.
to keep them together. Like if there's
Unless
one
they
team that needs to stay together, I like their momentum, especially that they got both belts, the Terra
yeah.
twins. You know what I mean? Like that's dope right now. Please keep
The
that together. I think that would be
the
cool on
only
SmackDown.
I think you said this last year, and I'm pretty sure you said this last year, and I kind of
Yeah.
hope it does happen. If they happen to split up Judgment Day for Raw or for the draft,
Yeah.
draft Dom separately and the rest on the other brand to make sure
Yes.
that we see Dom and how well he does by himself without anybody by his side.
Yeah.
Like not saying that what we see from Dom and Rhea is bad. I love what they're doing. It's great. I think just keep it going. But at the same time, it's like we also got to see Dom by himself and what he could do without anybody on his corner. So
Yeah.
if they do that, that'll be great. Maybe I mean obviously still say that he's still a part of Judgment Day. He's not like completely out of the group.
Yeah.
And it's not a permanent
He's still
thing.
representing the group. Yeah.
It's just only for 1 year. Then maybe next draft they get drafted and brought back together. I don't know, but I think that'd
Yeah.
be cool to see.
Nah, that would be cool. Because I do think Dom. I think I wouldn't say they dropped the ball with him because it's still too early. I would say they let his momentum die a little bit. I think he had a lot of momentum. I know people still boo him and love to boo him, but
Yeah,
like storyline wise, I feel like he was in bigger storylines a couple months ago than now. He is still
yeah,
like in storylines, but I feel like they're not at the capacity that they were once. Like
Yeah.
he was in a tag match at Mania last year. He was in a big singles match with his
I
pops.
think I think
And then this match was just like I hate to say it, but it was kind of like the break. And I feel
mm,
like they treated it that
yeah.
way too,
Yeah.
because it was like it was right after. Was it right after the J match, Jay and Jimmy match,
I think it was
or was it
before.
or was it between that and the ladder match?
It must have been that. Yeah, it was
So
between
that
that and the
was the
ladder match.
that was
Yeah.
the break, and they treated, because I remember it happened after a big match, and then it was like the break, and I was like, whoa, like they're really treating this like a break,
Yeah.
and I hated that because I love all the guys that were in that match, and I think they tried their best to make it as important as possible, and then got stuck with the fucking running that they did. I don't know
Yeah.
what that was, but yeah,
Yeah.
but I just felt like if they get him on his own, I think they could figure out what works for him and what doesn't, and they could really build a star, because Dom is a star, bro.
He
They just
is.
have to figure it out, and I know it's gonna take a while. I mean, look how long it took for them to figure out Roman. You know what I mean? So who
Exactly. Yeah.
knows? Hopefully, it doesn't take that many times with Dom.
Yeah.
Hopefully, they feel, because right now he's got momentum. I just feel, and he still has it, because you see him cut promos. People hate him, but I just
Exactly.
felt like he was in bigger storylines a couple months ago, and now it's kind of like he's. I do give him that. He's still getting TV time and shit. Like they do care about him. Maybe they just don't
Yeah.
have nothing right now. But
Yeah.
hopefully,
That's
if they put him by himself, I think they can make magic.
yeah. I think at some point this year, Dom should win the IC title. That'll be
Yeah,
a great thing for him. I mean, Gunther seems like he's going to be in the main event picture,
yeah, that was
so
his low graduation.
yeah, like it was time for him to lose it, but he doesn't. They don't. No one has to worry about him anymore. So I feel like anybody. I'm not saying to treat it as like a handoff type title or transitional title, but other people could win it this year and have a little
Yeah,
bit of a run with it, and
yeah,
I would be fine.
you don't
You
need
know?
right now with every belt. Now that you've done these three long reigns that finally
Yeah,
ended this weekend, I don't think anybody holds a belt more than 6 months this year.
yeah. No one
I
should be
think if anything,
holding it that
that's the
long.
longest 6 months. I think that's the
Yeah,
longest. Other than that, I think people are gonna be losing it left
yeah.
and right. Not like in the fucking Attitude Era where they were just changing
Every week.
belts just to change belts. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's actually gonna be important changes, but just not long, not lengthy title reigns.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, that is true. I think the draft will
Question,
be important. Yeah, go ahead.
question with the draft, Gunther, right? Because he's up there for me in my top picks.
Me too.
Because it would probably be Damian Priest, Jade, Rhea, and then Gunther. Where do you think? What title do you think he goes after? Do you think he goes after Priest, or do you think we get Gunther and Cody?
It's got to be babyface, so it has to be Cody. Um, I don't know if it's gonna be right away. They're gonna have to set it up for Berlin.
Yeah,
You know, they're gonna have to keep him in some type of storyline,
they
not
got.
for a championship in between.
So, I think you give him the King of the Ring. I think you give him the King of the Ring,
That's what I want to talk about too. Let's get into
and
that because I
then
also
yeah,
want to
let's talk
talk.
about it. King of the Ring
Yeah,
and Queen of the Ring,
yeah.
because
And
I
those
think
is way
those
too
that's
early
gonna be cool.
predictions. Way
That's
too
gonna
early
be.
predictions for it. Who do you
But
have
the
winning Queen of the Ring though?
Queen of the Ring, I think it's gonna be Bianca.
Really?
I
Okay.
think they're gonna.
Okay.
I think that. I don't know if it's gonna be
Not a
Bianca.
not a bad pick, but not the one I'm thinking. The person I'm
Who
thinking
do you
of.
think? Who you have?
I think it's. I'm only saying this person. She hasn't really been like main event picture lately or at all yet, but I think the character would fit her well, and she could elevate herself and the Queen of the Ring gimmick if she wins this. I think they should give it to Chelsea Green. That's an awesome pick for Queen of the Ring.
That
She
is a
can
dope pick.
that can
Yeah.
elevate her career. If you think about it too, the next pay per view after that is Money in the Bank, located where?
Mm,
Her home country in Canada. She could either enter the Money in the Bank saying, "Hey, I won Queen of the Ring. I should
yeah.
automatically be in Queen of the Ring," and Money in the Bank, or she goes for the title. Most likely not going to win it. That's why I say Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
She has a better chance of winning that and successfully cash it in.
I mean,
Winning Queen of the
listen.
Ring and Money in the Bank, both of them
Yeah.
can help her even better because she could say like, "Hey, I have money in the bank. I can cash this in whenever I want. I don't have
Yeah.
to have a title match when you tell me I'm the queen. Y'all listen wait on my time."
Yeah.
They can make that storyline so well that could elevate her career even more than what it is right now. They could even make Piper Niven like her bodyguard or something.
Yeah.
That'd be sick to do.
I actually
Like if
like that a
you gotta
lot.
fight Piper Niven, get
Yeah.
through her first to get to Chelsea, and I think it's pretty cool to see. I would love that, man. I hope I'm right.
I actually like Chelsea a lot. That's actually a good one. Damn, that's actually a real good one. I like that because I think she could build off of that too. Like you said,
Yeah,
she has that character that her as like queen and having people call her queen or majesty. Like
yeah.
she won't
Queen
answer
Green.
unless you call her that. You know
I
what I
mean,
mean? Like
Queen Green doesn't sound right. Queen Chelsea. Just call her Queen
Queen
Chelsea. That's
Chelsea.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I actually
great
like
name,
that a
Queen
lot. I
Chelsea.
think that would be cool. I think that would actually be pretty fucking funny too, and
Yeah,
actually
no,
enjoyable.
I hope it's not funny. I mean, I hope they could take it serious
No,
and
yeah,
treat
like,
her
but
well. But
I think it will be more of kind of both. You could kind of take it seriously, but also laugh at it because it's fucking funny. Like, who's
true,
going
yeah,
around making people call them queen just because she won a tournament? You know what I
she
mean?
has the attitude.
Exactly.
But the thing
But
is, though,
she
like
has that.
they
Say it.
make everyone, even for King of the Ring, they make you call you King. Like that's the
Yeah,
thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like you have to call them King or Queen of the Ring
yeah.
because they won the tournament. So she has to tell everyone. But maybe, yeah, I could say the same. Like people can be like, "Oh, hi, Chelsea Green." Like, no, it's Queen Chelsea. You call
Queen
me
Chelsea.
Queen
Yeah.
Chelsea. And then, yeah, I think that would be
Like,
sick
oh,
too.
I saw you had me defending the belt tonight, but it says Chelsea Green. I
Yeah,
don't think I'm defending nothing. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like you could do stuff
exactly.
like
Yeah,
that and have it be like actually like honest on both sides of seriously and like serious and funny because she has that kind of character that she
and
could be serious 100% but also be fucking around.
yeah, and like I said, Money in the Bank would make it perfect. The
Yeah.
point of Money in the Bank is you can cash in on your own time. It wouldn't make sense to have her go up against Rhea or Bailey at Money in the Bank and then lose and then kind of ruin the momentum a little bit
Yeah.
at first. Money in the Bank will be a great start. I'm not really the biggest fan of like throwing so and so in a match at so and so pay per view because it's in so and so location because they're from
Yeah.
there. You know what I mean? Like it will be like, oh, I'm gonna give Nikki Cross a women's championship because she's from Scotland that she should compete in a clash. Like, nah, give it to someone
Yeah.
who's been grinding and on TV every single week.
Yeah.
Unlike Nikki Cross,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean. I don't want like
Nah,
I
it's a
didn't,
fact. Cause that's like the
but she
same
would
thing
make sense
with
though.
that's the same thing with like the Berlin show. It's not that oh, it's in Berlin, so it has to be Gunther. It's more like
Yeah,
it's building towards that. I feel like it's
yeah,
not that we want. I feel like it's a thing that we want, but also that's what it's building to, because that's what it
yeah.
seems like. Because I kind of have the same idea for Gunther. I have him winning King of the Ring, and then he should win Money in the Bank. Win
Okay,
Money in the Bank, come out the next day and say, "Hey, I'm not fucking carrying around this briefcase,
I'm
but
cashing in tonight
I'm cashing in
at Berlin.
at
Yeah,
Berlin. I'm not
yeah.
carrying this around though. But whoever wins at SummerSlam, just know I'm gonna be ringside. I'm facing you at Berlin. Boom.
Maybe that's the stakes for the King and Queen of the Ring. Like that, maybe that's why they made it in between. Whatever people think it's Backlash and Money in the Bank. Like the winners, they don't get title shots. Maybe they do, but they can either choose Money in the Bank or title shot.
Yeah.
Because like again, if you get the title shot and if you lose, you may be pushed to the back of the line.
Yeah.
As opposed to winning the Money in the Bank, if you win it, you're basically at the front of the line at all times,
Yeah.
kind of in
Exactly.
a way. So that makes sense to do that. That would be cool. Either one would be cool.
Yeah, I think those are two good ideas. I like
King
that.
Gunther
But
and then his
I think
Stooges.
yeah,
That'd be sick. Yeah,
I think that would be sick, bro. I think
yeah,
that'd be cool and to lead it up to like I'm not carrying this around like I'm not like yeah, like this
yeah.
is a joke. But
That's
I'm
it.
cashing in at Berlin. Just like yeah, no.
Yeah.
I think that would be
Damn, that'd be
sick.
sick. I
Damn,
hope
shout
we were
out
both
Gunther,
right
man.
on that.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully, even if they don't give him King in the Ring, I hope he at least gets
Yeah.
that Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank. Yeah. If he doesn't, Money in the Bank would be cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Either
that'd
one.
be somebody you're not even thinking of. I think maybe If you
There's
want
so
to
many
be
people.
if you want a king that's gonna be an asshole about it, I would give it to Logan Paul.
Oh, King Logan. Sounds like a
King
cool thing.
King
That sound
Logan.
that sounds cool. That
Think
the
about the
clothes
Prime merchandise you can make off of that.
King Prime Logan.
Yo, think about him coming out at SummerSlam in his hometown as the king.
Ooh,
Yo, listen, man. It
that'd
will
be
just
fire.
make
Not gonna
people
lie.
hate him even more. Yeah,
Oh
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
he has
Arrogant style.
that exactly that persona
And
that's just like I hate this guy. Now I gotta call him king. Like
what if
that's
like he makes
wild.
his podcast host like his sergeant or whatever what they call it in the king?
Yeah.
Maybe his wife or fiance, whatever she is. Like he makes it like the queen. Or he can't call him a queen because they're already a queen. Whatever. Or
I don't
Chantel
even
when
know
Chantel was. What was Chantel? Queen Chantel, right?
I think
Booker's queen.
so. Yeah, but there
So
wasn't
it's
no
like
Queen of the Ring at the time. That's why.
yeah, yeah. So you can't really like call them queen
Yeah,
or do that thing
but
anymore.
I think Logan would fit it perfect. Like if you
Yeah.
want to get somebody that's gonna drive people crazy and make them be like, "Fuck, I wish it was somebody else that won."
And
It's
again,
Logan.
this is also under Triple H. The last time when Xavier and Zelina Vega won it, I was like, oh, it could have
I
done a
actually
lot
like
more.
that. I like
Like,
that. I like
no,
that Xavier won it because I feel like
yeah, I'm not saying
Kofi
that
had
like,
they both got the belts. Like he had the
yeah,
belt, Biggie got the money in the bank, and they had to give Sun to Xavier. And I
yeah.
think he was
I'm
the
not,
one that was like pushing for it. He was like, if they ever
yeah.
do King in the Ring again, I want to win it.
I'm
And
not
it just
saying that
worked
like
out.
it was a bad decision for both. I'm saying that it wasn't done. I think Zelina Vega's it was dropped like soon because it wasn't working
Yeah,
for her.
yeah,
I think Xavier got injured or something, so that made sense to
yeah,
drop it too. Bad timing. The booking for Zelina wasn't good for it, but if they whoever wins it this year, I think the booking will be better. It will mean more this time around. If you remember, it was supposed to happen last year too, but they switched it for Night of Champions.
yes. I
And it's
forgot
going to
about
happen
that.
in Saudi, so might mean a lot. It might mean
Yeah,
a lot. Who knows? Who knows?
I think
Yeah. What
it's
else?
gonna be
Oh,
a good one though.
yeah. It's going to be a good one. Another big thing, and I
What's
want to
up?
talk about this. It happened last night on AEW.
A Dub, what's up?
People were talking about it the entire night. They released the footage from All In, and
Oh yeah.
what were your thoughts on that? People were
Oh,
talking about it like crazy.
could care less. It happened a year ago.
Yeah, exactly what I was thinking. I'm like,
For people to still care about it, who gives a fuck? It happened
what?
and
Yeah,
it's over. And I think so. I think that was a. I don't know. Maybe I'm far fetched. I think that was AEW's whole plan to get the footage out after what was said last week. Finally, put it out so that it's out and it's not like AEW still has the tape. It's out. And then what happened right after? FTR came out, cut a great promo about, hey, why can't we just leave this shit behind? Why is everybody still talking about this? And I think it was a way to make the Young Bucks look like major more heels, and
yeah,
then also tie it into it's done. We're putting it past us with
yeah,
that. I think that's what was the mindset, especially with the promo FTR cut after. Because if they would have not cut a promo, I would have been like, oh, they were just petty. They this and. But I think with the promo that FTR cut after, I think it was more of them saying, hey, it's over. Like it
yeah.
happened months ago. He talked his shit last week. It's over. Done. Let's
But
put it behind us.
a few things, like I agree, like I totally agree with that. I saw it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it happened, whatever. It was whatever
If
many
you
months
choke
ago.
somebody out at work, you gotta get fired, homie. Like it is what
Yeah.
it is.
Two, Tony Khan made it as if like it was like a threat that he was going to release it, and it was just all that for you felt unsafe. Like he wasn't even shown in the video. For all we know, how
No,
did that
because he was
harm Tony Khan? You know
not
what I
because he
mean?
screamed at him and that was it.
You were
Listen,
unsafe.
you can't do
You,
that to your boss, bro. If you do that to your boss, you going back in the next day? I doubt it.
yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I mean? That's how. So I look at it through that real life. I look at it through real life. If
yeah,
I choke somebody out, if I scream at my boss, if I do any of those things Punk did, I'm not coming back the next day. And
yeah.
for that, he had already done it before. gives you so much leeway. You know what I mean? So I think everybody in that situation was wrong. It is what it is. It
Yeah.
happened. It's over. Like,
It Tony CM Punk pretty much said it in the interview exactly what happened. It literally exactly what he said. Let it be. Like, who cares? At this
yeah.
point, it's
And I
already
think
behind us.
so that's why I think they put it out, cuz they were like, "All right, the story's out there. Here's the tape." It was a way for the Bucks to get people to hate them even more, which what happened? People
Yeah.
talk shit about the video and hating on the Bucks, which they did their job. And then
Yeah.
FTR cutting the promo after saying, "Yo, it's over. Like, let's
And
stop talking about this shit."
the thing is too is like, um, people were saying like, why would Punk bring it up first? This wouldn't have happened. Blah blah blah. I'm like, what did you want him to do? If you go to an interview and someone asks you a question about anything, you're gonna
Yeah,
answer.
but
Like,
Punk is petty. That's why.
he was just
Because
saying what happened,
because anybody else would have just been like, it is what it is. I can't talk about it. Whatever.
but
Punk is
he can get
petty,
an
and
NDA for
we've
that shit.
known that for years. Though we've known Punk is petty.
Yeah,
We've seen it when he did the Colt Cabana thing. You know what I mean? We
yeah,
knew he was
but
petty.
he was,
It's
it was
not
brought
no
up. He didn't.
different.
Yeah, it was not like
Yeah,
the all
but
out the
you
year before where he just randomly just went off for no reason. Like, he was asked a question, he talked about it,
yeah,
and
but
that's
you
it.
know why he was. He wasn't doing an interview to talk about the one match he had in WWE, the Royal Rumble, where he got injured. You knew what you were gonna talk about, and he knew he was gonna let it all out on the table, and he's petty for that. But we knew that about Punk. Punk
Yeah,
has
but it was
always
like it
been like
was.
that. So I don't even this thing on him, because even when he was saying all that shit, I was like, why are you doing this? This makes no sense. Like, the shit's over with. You're with your other
Yeah,
company now. Who gives a fuck?
yeah,
And Errol Helani, I think, is a fucking waste of a broadcaster,
yeah,
because he fucked up his shot with UFC, and now he's just trying to mooch off of wrestling. He's been trying to do it for
exactly. Yeah,
months. UFC didn't work for him, and now he's
yeah,
trying to do the inside scoops, because he's taking all these big ass interviews away from people like a Chris Van Vliet, who should be getting them. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So, like, fuck Ariel Helwani,
I
whatever the
think
fuck
Van
his name
Vliet.
is.
Yeah, I think Van Vliet should be a better version of Hawani for wrestling. You know what I
Oh,
mean? He should get a
he
platform like that.
is.
He
I
is.
think
Yeah, yeah.
he just
Technically,
doesn't
yeah.
have the platform.
Of
That's what
course,
it
he's not
is.
signed. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
not signed to any broadcasting company or whatever, but he should be.
exactly. He
I
should.
think
He's
if, like,
great. His interviews
yeah,
are
if
awesome, man.
exactly, if Fox ever came back and said, "Hey, we're doing a show," Van Vliet should be the number one guy to host it and
Yes,
do interviews, something like that. It'll be
and
fantastic.
he's so good at it. Like, he's
Yeah,
just off
he
the top,
knows.
and he knows about it. Like,
Yeah,
Arrow
he
was
knows
talking and was like, "Do you even watch, bro?" Like, even the
exactly.
interview with Rhea, I was like, do you watch wrestling? Like, are you
Van
just
Vliet Van Vliet wouldn't ask questions like that. He would talk about, like, he'll maybe talk about something that happened years ago that, like, wouldn't cause drama online or
yeah?
with other companies,
But
but
what
he'll talk
happened?
about stuff.
Yeah,
It'll be interesting, you know.
yeah.
I
Helwani
would
needs
love.
that headline though, and that's
Yeah, that's the
every
thing.
interview he does. Somebody exposes something. Why? Because he wants that headline.
Yeah, he would talk about, like,
I would
Van
have
Vliet would
not
talk about
even
little
known
stuff,
he
but not
was. Yeah, I would have not even known he was doing an interview with Punk if
me. Yeah,
all that
I didn't see
stuff
that
didn't
clip
happen. Yeah.
exactly. I
So it
mean,
was
maybe
like,
they made him go on the show WWE to promote, because I think other people.
oh
I think
yeah,
Rio was on it the same day, so there must have
yeah,
been a promotion for WrestleMania or something.
yeah. But
Um,
that's
so
the problem. I feel like right now they're too loose with people. And
yeah,
maybe that's another old head thing, because Vince, it was like, you could get an interview with these people if it wasn't WWE. You know
yeah,
what I mean? So it was
yeah,
like, I think that saved them from certain situations like this. You know what I mean? Like, even though this
hmm,
wasn't a big situation, but Punk is someone that if you ask him a question, he's gonna say what he says. Like, it is what it is. But
yeah,
that Ariel knows that, and that's why he decided, hey, I'm gonna just ask all these questions.
yeah,
They wouldn't ask those questions on the bump. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like,
He wouldn't. Yeah,
yeah. So
they're able to ask questions that had nothing to do with anything else. They could
yeah,
probably hold a punk interview for an hour and not talk about anything else.
you don't
So
need You don't even have to
Exactly.
bring up AEW. You don't even have to bring up the
It
fight. I could
he
have an
didn't.
interview with Punk for an hour and not bring it up. I'm sure he will,
Yeah.
but you could have an hour interview and
Yeah.
not bring it up.
Exactly. Yeah.
But Helwani wants that headline.
Headline. Yeah.
But back to the video, it is what it is. I think it was more of
Yeah.
that to build up on the Bucks to being the assholes that they put out the video, but it's nothing. Even though, not that it's nothing, he choked out somebody at work, but like
Yeah.
that's not crazy, crazy. That's why
It made it seem worse.
they wouldn't put the brawl out
Oh
video
no, they
though.
wouldn't. They
Hell
would not
no.
do that. They would
So
never do
that's
that.
why I think it's a work. It's the only reason I think it was to build the Bucks as more dickheads and have FTR give that promo and say it's over. Because if they
If
really
they
want to say something crazy, they would have showed that video.
Because if they would have built up to do it for building up the heels, the Bucks should have announced it themselves instead of Tony Khan doing it. Because then it
Yeah,
seemed like I said, Tony Khan just wants it out there.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not really a Bucks thing. It was a Tony. Cause the Bucks, show it last night on AW. Yeah, of course, obviously,
Yeah.
we've seen that. But
No,
like,
but
if the Bucks came out on social media and said
yeah,
like, "Hey, we're showing the Punk Brawl in stuff about that," to build up, that yeah, it would have made sense. I don't think it would have been a
yeah,
bigger deal online. But again, I agree with you.
yeah. I think that's
It
what it was.
happened.
It was more of just to be like, yo, it's over. Especially having
Yeah,
FTR, like CM Punk's boys, come out and finally be
yeah,
like, yo, we
yeah,
have great wrestling. Let's put this fucking behind us. Like, that's another company. Like,
yeah.
let's
That is
do
true.
what makes us great. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, let's focus on us and not on other
yeah,
people.
like stop. Like I get it. Like I not gonna like the Will Ospreay one that he said the little thing. You know what? I give it to
Triple
him. A
H,
lot of people were
yeah,
mad
Triple
about
H said
that,
it first.
but Triple H shitted on him for no reason. And it's
Yeah,
like, bro, also bring up the idea that you're gonna leave him on NXT Europe, which hasn't even been fucking announced yet. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Let me hear the whole story before you telling me about schedules and how you didn't match up
yeah.
money. Get the fuck out of here. So
Exactly.
with Ospreys, I was fine with because I was like, you know
Yeah,
what? Take that dig. It's all right. Because
exactly.
they're gonna
He
do
needed
that
to
all the
respond to
time.
that.
They've been throwing shots at each other since AEW's been around.
Exactly.
So him
Exactly.
doing that, people were like, oh Triple A, Will Ospreay, da 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 da. It was like, bro, they've been taking shots at each other for years. It's not nothing
Yeah.
different. Like it's the same thing. Just because it's a new guy doing it, come on,
Yeah.
it's the same shit, bro. But I listen. I watch all wrestling, so I can really care less.
Yeah.
I'm not tribalist to one. I have seen Twitter. A lot of people like there's either like heavy this video stupid AEW
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
the L, or there's like this was great that AEW put this out, makes Punk look like an asshole. Da 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 da. I'm just like,
I'm
what's
in
gonna happen
between.
with
Yeah.
Priest? Is Dynasty gonna be good? And what's going on with Double or Nothing in SummerSlam? Like I could care
Yeah.
less about shit that happens outside of the
Yeah.
company.
Forbidden Door is gonna
Like,
be in New York. That's cool. I'm going to that
bro.
regardless.
So
Yeah.
that's something else I wanted to talk to. I know we're going a little long, but fuck it, we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of people are downplaying this pay per view. I think this pay per view is gonna be one of the biggest of the year.
And
So for one,
I wonder why.
we haven't seen MJF right
Yeah.
since Long Island. So he
Since
could
Long
return
Island.
before that, but that means he'll fight at Long Island again if he returns before that. If not, he might return that night.
I hope so. I
Second,
hope
this
so.
is coming out tomorrow, right? Friday. So tonight,
Yeah.
Friday night, Ambrose, my bad, Moxley is fighting for the IWGP title. He could win the
It's Windy
title
City,
in
right? It's
Chicago.
windy.
Yes. He
Yeah. I
could
forgot
walk
about this tonight.
in to AEW next week as IWGP champion.
Wait, he's facing
Naito
for the world title. Okay, I thought it
for
was
the
the
world
global
title,
title. Oh, wow,
right?
wow. Yeah.
Then we haven't seen Jack Perry. There's a reason why they
Yeah.
showed that video. It's
Probably
not
to
just
hype
for the
up.
It's not just for the Punk stuff. Yeah, so that pay-per-view got a lot of stuff tagged. Plus, Okada's on AEW side this time.
Yeah.
Well, Jay
So is
White is
Osprey.
on Osprey, Jay White, you know what I mean? What's
Yeah.
gonna happen? I think that pay-per-view is gonna be actually a
Yeah.
lot interesting than people are like pushing it to the side.
because there's one more thing I want to talk about too. We'll talk about that quick later. But one more
Yeah.
thing about the Jack Perry thing, I do agree with you. With like the video could also be more for Jack Perry promoting him for Forbidden Door in like 2 months, whatever. Um, did you see earlier that his shirt sold out
Yeah.
after that? Yeah,
He's
that's
number one
insane.
on pro wrestling tees.
And I hope New Japan treats him well the next few months to be like, yeah, he's going to be our top guy. He may win the IW or New Japan belts before Forbidden Door and be like, yeah, he's our guy. He's going to be walking in most likely, hopefully, to main event Forbidden Door as our champion. Maybe he walks out with a win and he stays in New Japan. Be like, hey, I'm being treated well here. I
Yeah.
was unsafe a couple of months ago in this company. There's no reason for me to be back. My first merchandise that is sold out. I am the heavyweight champion of this company. There's no reason for me to be back here. Will
Mhm.
he ever go back? I'll definitely see him down the line back in AEW.
Yeah.
Just not yet, not soon.
Cause I
But I
also
find that
think
pretty
that
cool.
yeah, because I also think that's a work also with the whole thing that like Tony's mad at him. He hasn't talked to Tony since then. And
Yeah,
kind of keeping him on the outer. I think that's all work. I think
yeah,
it's to get him away. He's gonna chill in Japan. We talked about this. He's gonna
yeah,
chill in
yeah,
Japan for like a year, which is about to come up on a year. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like he's gonna chill there for a minute. I think he's gonna have a big match at Forbidden Door.
But yeah, he's gonna have a big
I don't know
year in
against
New
who,
Japan.
but it's gonna be one of those things that's like Jack Perry is coming back to AEW. I
Yeah,
think if they're really tight at him, they might not use him. But I
yeah,
think it's all work. I think it's
think,
more of like
yeah,
building him up and getting him away from the TV for a little bit, so that
yeah.
people are gonna be like, whoa, like, and he's great in the ring. It's not like he's a bad wrestler.
He's not. He's
He's
not.
great. Yeah. So that pay per view is very interesting to me because of everything that's laid out on top of it. Also, it's in the build up to
Exactly.
Wembley, so that's also another thing that's like I wonder like what's happening.
Yeah.
It's an
Um.
exciting time to watch wrestling
It
again.
is. It
I'm just
is.
so
And
tight that TNA is not on my like I have to search for TNA because my cable provider doesn't have it. I have to like
yeah.
search for episodes of TNA
It, my
wrestling,
it,
and I
my
love it. But
the channel that it's on from my cable is like it's mad deep in, and I have to like search it because it's a 3-digit number, and I'm gonna have to type it in every single time. Like fuck, like I
damn,
forgot
at
the
least you
number
got it
too.
though.
Yeah, at
Damn,
least I have it, but I'm like
the
shit. Is it
channel
this
that I
number? Is it this
had,
number?
yeah, my cable provider said, "Nah, we taking that channel off, bud.
Yeah,
Sorry."
yeah, but yeah, that TNA should be cool too. I know they're
Yeah,
killing it too. I've
it's a
seen
fun time
highlights of
to
it.
it's a fun time to be a wrestling fan. What else? I see you. What else?
Last thing, one more thing, because it reminded me as we were talking about New Japan. Last thing we'll talk about, then we wrap up. Julia also appeared on
Yeah,
NXT. Stand and
huge,
delivered. Huge
huge,
signing. Thoughts
huge
about that?
signing. I hope they treat her right. I hope I hope she kills it there. I think, of course, she's gonna start out in NXT. I think it's gonna be awesome. I think she's gonna have a great run. Like I said, I just hope they do right by her, and I think they will. I'm excited to see, especially with Regal and like in the in the scheme of everything. I think he's gonna help her out. What do you think?
Yeah, me too. I'm excited. I mean, I it's definitely going to help her big time. Again, I don't think she needs to develop her in-ring ability. We've seen her in the
No,
ring. She's amazing. If you haven't, you'll see eventually when she starts in
yeah,
NXT. It's just getting it introduced to the WWE audience because not a lot of people know of her.
yes. And I think it's also to
Rossi
learn
was
like
right
the
next to
camera
him.
and stuff.
Yeah, Rossi is his
Yeah,
name, whatever his name, right
I
next to him, which is even cooler.
yeah
Um, and then I guess she may need help with promos. I think her English is not that good. I think it's okay. I
yeah
would say level better than Shinsuke. But she's okay at English.
yeah.
I guess should be fine with that. But it's glad I'm cool. She's glad she's over there.
I'm excited. I'm excited about that signing. I think it's gonna be
Yeah,
really cool.
it was a big
I'm
one
really
for them.
excited. Yeah,
Low
that's
key, I
awesome.
thought she was going to AEW for a split second. I'm like, they got all the big free agents. They're definitely going to get her. But I was like, good choice for her to go to WWE. Good
So
choice for her to get her.
I knew she wasn't going to AEW because she's talked about Mania before. She wants to do Mania. You know what I mean?
Mm,
It's one of those
yeah,
things. That's like
I
kind of
know that.
like with the Okada thing that he was like, I want to wrestle Mania. That's why I thought WWE had him locked. So once I saw her say that, it kind of leaned me towards WWE. But again, it was
Yeah,
like Okada said the same thing. He showed up in AEW. You never know. But I think that was a great signing by WWE. I think that was awesome.
Amazing signing.
Another signing that happened this weekend, Jacob Fatu.
Oh yeah,
What
Jacob
are your
Fatu
thoughts on
yet to
that?
make his debut. Um, it was a great signing. Glad that he signed with WWE. I'm not saying this is all fake and rumors, but it was like I gotta wait to see if he actually shows up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because awesome. Glad that he signed with WWE. Deserves it. It
Mm-hmm.
makes sense if he's gonna be bloodline still possibly going on. It's a storyline. What a great member of the family to add in the Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
Um, again, I just want to see when he's gonna show up.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm not. Sorry, let me rephrase that. I don't mean if he's gonna show up. He's definitely is
When?
if he's signed.
Yeah.
Just when and how they're gonna introduce him.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, um, will people know who he is when he shows up? No, maybe not the name, but you could clearly tell he might be a part of the family.
Yeah.
So we just will automatically assume, oh, he's another cousin that they have.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that needs that much of an introduction to just be like, hey, this is Jacob Fatu, our cousin. Okay, pretty much easy to understand. It's another Uso or
Yeah.
Fatu, um, in this
Because
case. So it's
I
not that much of an introduction for as per Julia.
yeah, that is a fact. I'm excited about it. When I saw he got signed, so I knew something was up because Saturday night
Yeah,
I was at Mania and then I we were in the parking lot. Of course, you gotta wait for it to die down. So we usually
yeah,
just chill for like an hour. Then when it dies down, we start moving. So I was like, you know what? Let me check out Spring Break. Like I got my phone on me
yeah.
and I'm watching the Punjabi Prison match. I'm like, where the fuck is Jacob?
Jacob,
Like, why is
yeah,
Zilla not with
by
Jacob?
himself.
Also, did you see that match?
I seen highlights of it, but I didn't see it from start to finish.
So ghetto. That Punjabi prison match was leaning. That shit was leaning. They had it with duct tape. It was such a
Oh
GCW thing,
God,
but
oh God.
it was like I loved it though because it was like yo like I
It
they're
was from what I
trying
saw, it was
like
only one surrounding, right? It wasn't like
yeah
two like it was originally
no
was.
it was one. It was like a
Yeah,
cage match, but like I give it to them for even trying. You know what I mean? For even like try and be innovative. Even though it
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
work, they tried it out, and it's one of those things that it'll be like, you know what? We'll try it again and try and get better. And that's why
yeah,
I give like GCW indie companies that always like try new things.
yeah,
Like that's awesome. Even though it looked a little janky, but like
yeah.
they could
They
do better
tried
in
their
the future. You
best.
know what I mean? They tried their best. But when he didn't show up, I was like, son, I don't know what it is, but something happened because he's in Philly. Like I saw, like I think he was on a show like 2 days before that in Philly. I was like, it's not that he not here. And then the
Yeah,
next day, that rumor came out, and I was like, whoa, like
makes sense.
okay, that. But then I was like, usually WWE let their guys finish though, like their bookings. Like what I read, it was like, oh,
That
like
is
I'm
true.
starting on TV soon, so I gotta cancel all my bookings because I thought they would have at least let him finish out, especially if it was just one
Maybe
match.
I guess like they
So do
were
you think it's
probably
like soon?
planning. I thought they were gonna because he wasn't at that show. Because I heard about that too. I
Yeah.
did, but I thought they were gonna plan on using him that night of WrestleMania night two. And like yo, just go home, get some rest, just discuss it. Don't go to that
Mm-hmm.
show. We'll discuss how you're gonna debut tonight. But then that didn't happen, so I'm like, maybe they just scrapped it. And I'll be like, maybe that's not the best decision to have you
Mm-hmm.
debut tonight. Maybe let's wait till this week. I think he might debut on SmackDown. Um, this SmackDown tonight when it gets released.
Yeah.
Maybe that would be like the SmackDown at the Mania show, like the
Maybe.
big debut. Carmelo Hayes, maybe Jacob Fatu. We already saw the Sheamus video from Monday, so
Yeah,
that's
which was
he's
dope.
returning.
Yeah.
So this may be the return or debut for SmackDown this
Yeah,
week.
that is true. Do you don't think he goes to NXT? You think he goes straight to the main?
Unless you give him like a Dragon Lee or solo run. No, not like a Dragon Lee run. Give him because again, people are gonna know he's a part of the family.
Yeah.
You could just mention like, yeah, I'm their cousin, whatever,
Yeah.
and then we don't need that much of a build up. He's great in the ring. He's already a great promo
Yeah.
person. Keep him there for 6 months max, then shoot him up when he's
Yeah.
done.
'Cause
He
I
doesn't
kind
need to
of
win the world title there. He doesn't need to win anything there. Just
yeah.
go up, get your timing, boom, you're there.
Very true. Because I
So
thought he was gonna show up on Monday. Because I thought
he was
on
going to
Raw they
attack Cody.
So I thought they were gonna build up Rock and Roman. I thought they were gonna like kind of tease at it. And I this was my fantasy booking in my mind. I was like, yo, like if they do Rock and Roman, they could do Bloodline version
Rules.
2. Like
Yeah.
you could have Rock have his own bloodline
Ooh.
and have
Okay.
Jacob and Solo kick Jimmy out because he's a weak link. And then when Roman comes back, you put the Usos back together. You can have a 3-on-3 match that builds up to Roman and Rock 1-on-1. And you
That's sick.
have, think about it, Jacob and Solo running rabid. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
those are two scary dudes. That's kind of
Yeah.
fire. And then you
If
kind
they
of put
add
the Usos.
Zilla
You could do
and
that
design
too.
Zilla.
And then you have the two different bloodlines. You do a fucking Wolfpack Hollywood kind of thing. You
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
pick a side of the bloodline, the baby faces, which are Roman, Jimmy, and Jay, and then the heels, Rock, Jacob, and Solo.
Yeah, that'll be sick.
I think that
Damn.
would be.
That's
I think
fire.
that would be sick if that's what I thought was gonna happen. I was like, we
Yeah.
might get like a build up, and then Rock and Rock and Roman go their separate ways, and then those
Yeah.
four guys build it up. Like they're the ones that are having feuds every week, and we see Roman and Rock here and there, like how we usually do.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
And then they're the ones that are building it up. But when that didn't happen, I was like, I don't know what they're gonna do with him because I feel like for him to be introduced and for people to care about him without knowing him, it has to be with Rock or Roman.
We shall see, though. I mean, I don't think
Yeah,
they're going to plan on rushing it now if they don't have anything ready for him now.
exactly. Yeah.
So maybe they'll debut him eventually and then be like,
But that's
okay,
why
this
my
is
thing
this
was
cousin.
like, that's why my thing was like, why did he just like cancel all his dates and be like, yo, I can't. Like, my
I just
thought
think
was
it
that
was,
quick right
yeah.
away.
They probably thought of using him that night, but they're like, you
Maybe,
know
and
what,
then
that's too
change their mind.
soon. Yeah,
You're right. Yeah.
May-
Because
maybe. I don't know.
you did make perfect sense. Like Mania debuting at Mania is pretty big, and like if
Yeah,
people don't know you, it's kind of
exactly.
tough. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
maybe he was
Solo was
supposed to
already
be with
known.
Brock.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
because
I don't
Solo
know.
at least they knew people knew him from NXT, and he
Yeah,
was everywhere on the socials. Like, oh, the Usos, bro. Like they were.
exactly. Yeah,
Now that I think about it, they were intentionally like selling him to us. Also, what I like about Solo, last week, Roman and Rock before the main event talking about Solo. Something that Roman has said for the last year, he's not ready. He's not ready. Right before
yeah,
the main event, they looked at Solo and he goes, he's ready. And I was like,
yeah,
oh, okay. So now I'm hoping maybe they do something with Solo a little bit, maybe build him up a
yeah,
little bit because he's been on that long ass losing streak. So maybe
yeah,
he goes like, not world title or anything, but you know what I mean, put him like in the IC title picture or even like the US picture. You know what I mean? Something for him to do
yeah,
that's not Jimmy and Jay based. Give him something
yeah.
like I feel like he's just there. Like make him his own character. Let Heyman run with him
Yes,
while Roman's away. I like that. I think
yes,
Heyman and Solo would be dope. And you let him
yeah.
run around on the mid card. I think that's dope as hell.
That'll be sick. Yeah, that'll be
Yeah.
fire. That'll be fire.
It's
I wouldn't
just
mind that.
yeah, there's so many possibilities in every
So
company.
many.
I'm just excited, man. This is
Me
such a
too.
good time.
Yeah, great time in wrestling. We went
Hell
a
yeah.
long ass time this episode.
It was an
It was
important
there was a reason
episode.
for
There was a
yeah,
lot happening this
exactly.
week.
Yeah. So if you
But
made it this
yeah,
far in the episode, shout out to y'all for making it an hour and a half because the episode was
yeah.
pretty crazy. Um,
I mean,
but yeah,
shout
shout out to
Mania,
everyone.
baby.
Yeah, shout out Mania.
Yeah.
Shout out
Even
Mania.
like I said, even though I kind of shitted on it at the beginning, it was underwhelming for me. Like I said,
Yeah.
a lot of people probably loved it. Like I said, it wasn't a bad show. It just didn't feel like Mania. I don't want people
Yeah.
to take it like I just hated Mania. It was a great show. I just didn't feel like it was Mania.
Yeah, I understand. But yeah, we could wrap it up there. Again,
Awesome.
episode number 158 of the Ring Fanatics podcast.
Yes, sir.
I am Nick with Joel, and we will see you guys next time.
Catch you.